All right, let's get this started. Hey guys, sorry for not doing the rest of last week like I said I would. I got super busy. Hopefully things are going to kind of settle down, but I'm thinking I'm going to do like one COA stream a week. Um and obviously I'm going to do more once we get into like actual tournament season, I'm thinking. Um but for now, I think I'm just gonna do um this first day of matches tends to be pretty good because I have Friday off. Um and it's only two matches like guaranteed, so it's not, you know. I think I'm just gonna stick to that for now. And then once we're into later. Yeah. Yeah. Hi evenings guys. Hi Bird. I have seen one of the picks for today. I have not seen anything else, but I know that there are more. So yeah. I don't really know what we're in for today. Um but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. We're just gonna go with that. I do want to look at before we get into the meat of things. Right today, we're gonna be looking at AXIZ Wave versus FAV Gaming. So hello GP. It should be a pretty fun day. The next match is gonna be MY or Miss You versus Streamers or STR. That'll be after this one. But yeah, getting into things. Before we get into things, I did want to take a look at the ranking after this past week. It's been a pretty fun week. I mean, obviously, do watch the rest of the matches that happened. Because last week was crazy. It's only going to get more fun. Again, I'm not going to be streaming everything from the qualifier stage, but yeah. Anyway, looking at the rankings here, we do see that AXIZ Wave is actually at the top of their group, and AWG is at the top of their group. We're doing Group A and Group B, for I believe 2 or 3 teams total are going to be qualifying for Japan. So right now we've got AXIZ Wave and AWG, Arnib with WOG. WOG, don't really, whatever. Anyway, those are the front runners for Japan right now. But this is only after week 1. There's gonna be several more weeks of qualifiers. I don't have the COA schedule on me, but that's accessible. Maybe I'll find it later. But anyway, RC and FL are in second place here. Fav Gaming is sitting in third place, and our highest ranked. To be fair, this is highest ranked in terms of there are 3 non-pro teams in Group B. So MY is currently the highest ranked non-professional team, which is pretty cool because they actually have more points. If you look, I'm not perfectly certain what that third number is, but it is higher than Five. They're basically on par with Five Gaming here, which is pretty cool. Looks like they're about the same as Five Gaming as well as AN. So yeah. Anyway, that's just to kind of look at where we are right now across the board. But hello Rib. Getting into things here. I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to kind of skip through the player line. There we go. I think I overshot it again. But I am gonna. Okay, yeah, there we go. Here is AXIZ Wave. Because we have kind of seen them before, I'm going to kind of speed through these because I also tend to spend too much time on them. But we have KKK, generally a Bonbon main, also has been playing Opera Singer. KKK has been the round 1 hunter for AXIZ Wave. I don't know if they're going to keep that. I kind of miss round 2 KKK, but it's okay. I miss KKK Hermit, so I hope that they have KKK back on more than. There's a car alarm going off outside. Okay. Anyway, yeah. I miss KKK Hermit. I hope that they put him back on round 2. Other than that, Rise has been the general AXIZ Wave Hunter. We've got Takako on Rescue, Ato on Harassment, Yan also sometimes on Harassment. They kind of switch things around a little bit with the Harassment on AXIZ Wave. But Tuna is a very dedicated support, and I miss Lim. I know we all miss Lim. I really hope that they bring Lim back. to the main Survivor lineup, but I would assume that she is still coaching pretty actively for AXIZ Wave. Anyway, moving on to FAV Gaming, if I can find, because I didn't actually write this timestamp down, but I want to get the nice full screen here, because the individual player stats don't mean much. Yeah, looking at FAV Gaming, we've got FAV Yami and FAV Kruger. I did hear that Chicken I think, had, like, school obligations, so wasn't able to play in qualifiers, so a little bit unfortunate there, but all is, okay. But yeah, and then we've got Yog, Dacho, Nerisu, Felix, and Apai for the Survivor lineup. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I also miss Chicken. Chicken has a crazy Dream Witch. And I do hope that FAV I feel like FAV is kind of struggling without Chicken. But anyway, that is that, and I'm going to get into round 1 if I can find where I am. I do want to get in the map ban picks. There we are. All right, map ban and picks here for round 1. It went forward. Okay, there we go. Looks like I'm gonna back up a little bit so that I can hit play and get the interface out of the way. It looks like AXIZ Wave banned Moonlit River Park, and FAV Gaming is going to pick Ever Sleeping Town. So that's gonna be our situation here. Ever Sleeping Town, obviously a good map for opera singers, so it does look like FAV Gaming is kind of trying to set up Yami for success. And they're, they'll deal with the opera singer. They'll deal with Kakaka's opera singer, or possibly, we could see Hermit, we could see Bonbon. It wouldn't be terrible picks, but because it's round 1, oh no. I am so sorry, I didn't realize that was unmuted. I don't know if that was picking up on the stream, but I am very sorry. I don't know how long that was even going for. But okay. Yep, so that's Orpheus. Could you guys even hear the video going? Because no one reacted to it. Or were you just being nice to me? Okay, so yeah, I did have it really low, but I saw it picking up on the the audio output. I was like, no! But okay, anyway, that's oops. Going through things very quickly now because I just missed all of that. We have Game 0 Murder happening on screen right now. We have Emil and Orpheus as our first 2 picks, and this is the first novelist pick since being let out of ban jail, or permanent not allowed in tournament jail. So I'm kind of excited to see this. It does remind me though, back during, I believe, yeah, it was back during Checkmate. The team that was essentially just Fusion, but like without all of their players and playing in a non-professional tournament, they kept wanting to play Novelist. And we didn't have Novelist allowed because, it was like, this was during the rework basically. Lola, my cat really wants to leave my room, so I'm going to let her out. Alright, I will survive another day. And she will not eat me. But anyway, going back to things, yeah, so it just reminds me of that because they were the only team who was even thinking of playing Orpheus. And so like we basically allowed it on terms of like, if the other team says that you guys can play Orpheus, like you can, we guess. Because his tournament, like his rework went through like during the tournament, and so the rules were obviously like no novelist, not allowed. But since novelist would have been allowed in tournament post rework, teams like that one team was like, can we play him? And obviously all the other teams were like, no, why are you like, obviously you have something up your sleeve if you're asking to play novelist. So no, but I don't know. We'll see if this works out, because I've been curious about how the novelist rework is really going to like work. So yeah, interesting to see. It looks like we've got Kakaka spawning up near the corner house. And I would say our first taste here might actually be Novelist. No, it looks like we're heading towards the center, over towards Patient. Or maybe okay, looks like we might be trying to force First Officer out of the pocket watch. No, we're going back towards the center here. Kakaka taking a little bit of a way around. But just having those decoys set up, not a bad thing. Doubling back here and heading towards Dacho, in the double 11 area, but are we going to change targets here? Because First Officer, not a good first chase, yet does look like Kakaka is going to change directions here. Just wanted to bait out that pocket watch. So nicely done, heading back towards the center here. A little bit slow with the Opera Singer movement. It looks like Kakaka actually did just get stuck there. So he is going to have to just manually walk for, okay, a couple more seconds there. We're going to have that dash back off cooldown, heading over towards Yog in the center. But it's honestly, with the amount of time, we're a minute into the match here, but none of the ciphers are past 50% here. Obviously, FAV Gaming did take a bit of time to rotate. It looks like we're actually going to head for Embalmer. Maybe no, we're getting very turned around here, but it's kind of like the act of getting turned around here is because the survivors keep moving, which means that the survivors aren't decoding. We have 5 ciphers started here, which is actually a lot of decoding progress. It's just very spread out, which you can get away with on a map like Ever Sleeping Town. I mean, you can get away with it on pretty much any map, but there is the problem of, getting, like, making sure you can return to those ciphers. Nice blink there, though. Unfortunately, wasn't a terror shock. I would say Kakaka was definitely hoping for that. But Felix does have quite a bit of room to maneuver here, getting a little bit stuck out here with both, oh, it looks like Knee-Jerk might be back here, but Broken Windows is not quite back yet. Felix is just going to opt to die in a corner, but it looks like it's about a little bit under a 3 cipher kite. So the thing here is that, we have multiple ciphers on the go. I do think that one of those 33% ciphers is the one that's right here where Felix has been shared. But it's, as long as Felix can kite away from the graveyard here, they should be pretty okay to return to it sooner than later. Yeah, the fact that this is a lot of just snowballing on this decoding. So very nicely done here by FAV Gaming. And just, because of the amount of time that it took for Kakaka to really commit to a target, that's why those ciphers have kind of just been able to feed. And it does look like, if we turn the camera again, yeah, it does look like Yog has returned to that cipher. So we will, yeah, just, it's gonna be pressured, so I feel like they should start a different cipher machine than the graveyard one, but it has enough progress on it that they shouldn't really abandon it, and it does kind of force Kakaka away from the chair. We're going to see Dacho coming in here, getting that basic hit, does still have a pocket watch to utilize, but interesting strategy here from Felix. I guess, I mean, if they're going for, okay, no, so the strategy here is to just get as far away from that cipher as possible so that they can, okay, yeah, so we can see here they're going to prime it, wait for that other cipher to pop. They can basically just double pop it here. They might wait a second, especially since Kakaka is about to catch up to Nerisu. But, okay, yeah, Nerisu is going to take the kite, and now they have a prime cipher. So, very nicely done here from FAV Gaming. Like, this is a really big improvement from their previous Survivor performances. I'm actually kind of impressed. Just the amount of rotation that they've done here to really just spread Kakaka thin on a map that's very good for Opera Singer, too. So this is very impressive work here. We're going to see Dacho take the chase now, but it does look like, yeah, we do have Nerisu over at the other gate, but a teleport coming through here. Both those pallets have been dropped, and I guess this is kind of an advocation for dropping both of those pallets at the exit gate. You can see that it did kind of catch Kakaka off, and oh, the Novelist swap coming in, but unfortunately, Kakaka just able to dash right back here. A lot of room to maneuver here from this Novelist. Not a lot of pallets being used, but oh, missing, and once again missing. Kakaka falling victim to the Opera Singer's hitbox. This is not, I would say we're probably still going to have a draw here. Whoa, but what just happened there? That hitbox is just not connecting with the Novelist. Nicely done by Narisu, once again taking that vault. How many vaults has it been here? Are we going to go again? No, playing around once again. Kakaka, the mind games. Unfortunately, Narisu just can't survive long enough to try and make for the dungeon. It is going to be a draw, but what a performance at the end there. Just, wow. Just knowledge of the Opera Singer's hitbox, and the fact as well that Kakaka was already strung thin really did just, it just helped there at the end. Taking those mad swings, not really having, the peace of mind, I guess, to really focus on that Novelist. But it was still a draw, which is not the worst result in the world. I really do think, I understand why Felix kind of sacrificed himself, but I feel like they could have pushed harder for a better result, especially with the kind of coordination and the synergy that they were achieving there. Just the rotation at the start of the game, Kakaka couldn't commit to a target until over a minute and a half into the match. And yeah, like obviously the ciphers were a little bit behind, but the key there is that all of the ciphers had about at least 20 to 30% on them at 5 ciphers remaining, which gives you a boost later in the game. It takes longer, and it can definitely fall through on you. If Kakaka had brought abnormal or switched to abnormal, or had just more cipher presence, because that cipher presence is definitely possible with Opera Singer. It does kind of require a much more aggressive play style. But I think that just the rotation here really caught Kakaka off guard. And because there just was no kind of attractive chase option, he kept running into First Officer. And there's really nothing you can do about that, force out the First Officer's pocket watch. But obviously, it was still a draw, which is still a very good result. It doesn't really give an advantage to either side. It doesn't give an advantage to either team. But in that same sense, it doesn't give the other team an advantage. It doesn't give you an advantage, and it doesn't put the other team at a disadvantage, but it's good enough. It's good enough. So with that said here, heading into the second, once I can find my numbers, there we go. Heading into the second half of round 1, there's really no precedent because of that draw. Do I have this at maximum quality? No, I don't. My God. It was at 480p. So hopefully that's a little bit more of an improvement. We're doing really well today. We're doing great. I thought, okay. Well, I guess we'll have a second chance to see that Novelist. And kind of compare playstyles, because why does Charles look so small? I didn't comment on this before because I was so distracted by messing up the volume, but they did change. I think this is actually... It kind of looks the same from what I remember as COA 6, but interesting comp. An interesting comp here. It's very... I mean, I understand it. I mean, for kind of a comparison, you could replace Novelist here with, like, Acrobat, Patient, maybe Seer, and it would, like, that would be a little bit more of a tournament comp that we've seen so far. But... yeah, that Jose did spawn in with Pirate Radio hair. I saw that for a second, and I was like, that looks weird, but... yeah, no. Also, hi, Beyond. I did not notice you join, but hello. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Once again, there's more people here, so I'm just gonna repeat this. I said it earlier, but I'm sorry for breaking my promise. And no, I don't like you saying that. That scares me. But yeah, sorry for not doing every qualifiers match like I said I was going to. But you know, life is life. I'm going to do as much as I can. I'm probably going to continue doing these first days because they're very conveniently timed. But yeah. Yeah, anyway, getting into the match here. I want to see Novelist take the kite. I really do, because I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued. To is it Basil? It's gonna be Basil, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But yeah, okay. So with that spawn, we might actually see Otto taking the first chase here. He's gonna kind of spawn like point blank in front of Yami here. So there's definitely I feel like we might be seeing Novelist on display. The other options obviously are first officer, aeroplanist, and dancer. But I would say Novelist is gonna be the best chase here, but I really don't like the difference between Novelist in tournament and Novelist in like everyday average matches is that Novelist in everyday average matches is so much worse. But I feel like, you know, they're not going to be picking Novelist here in the way that your average Mammoth 3 picks Novelist. Tournament, you know, Novelist is very much a character where he's a labor of love. You wouldn't play him if you don't want him, you know? So the fact that Tournament is playing him here, is just kind of, you know, it's he has something, I guess. But Yami actually going to the center here, passing up the Novelist and heading for, it looks like I almost said Pirate Radio. No, that is First Officer. And that is his name. He is not Pirate Radio on normal days. But forcing out the pocket watch here, we're going to head back towards the corner, but there's no one in this corner. Yami getting turned around here. Otto's actually over at the closer to the dungeon spawn. It looks like we're going to head over into the covered area, and yeah, it's gonna be quite a bit of distance that we're able to achieve here. What Novelist skin even is that? Is that Homesick? Like, I genuinely can't see, but I also can't tell what it is. But either way, oh, nice usage of the swap there. Nicely done. That okay, so you know what? I forgot that skin existed. Yeah, very impressive there. Usually that doesn't work. Most of the time with that swap here, that doesn't work. But Yami doubling back, trying to stay on the Novelist, but it looks like we've just lost sight completely. Though it has had okay, that was okay. That was okay. Wow. Anyway, back to business here. We are continuing the chase on... Oh, but missing that flywheel. It does look like we have a book ready, though, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be seeing that swap come in sooner or later. Nicely done. And Otto taking the speed boost. But, oh, getting terror shocked out of that vault. A little bit of a... I guess... that wasn't the... No, that wasn't the blink. That keeps glitching. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. I got tripped up on it the last stream, too. But, the blink for Opera Singer, see, it happened again. That keeps glitching, and it keeps showing the, like, the yellow mist pops up, even when, like, the blink hasn't happened. I don't know what it is, or, like, why it does that, but it's been throwing me off. Because I keep thinking they're blinking in, like, the worst time. And Tuna coming in for the rescue here. We do have Tide Turner, so that is going to be a nice rescue on Novelist. We do not have... any books left here, but Yami teleporting back. Otto vaulted back, I think, and is just going to keep up this distance. Yami obviously does not have blink up, for another 45 seconds or so. Otto taking that vault once again. These Novelists are taking so much advantage of that, just the vault timing here, it's really impressive, especially with how fast Opera Singer's hitboxes. But yeah, unfortunately, Otto taking a hit is going to go down. We've got 2 ciphers remaining. Final cipher is passing 50% as we speak. Second to last cipher is at about 85-90%. We are, I believe, in accelerated decoding. But yeah, that cipher should definitely be primed here. Once Novelist gets off chair, Takako coming in for the rescue, kind of at a distance. No pocket watches left. Yami was able to successfully waste all of those, but we will be coming in here. Second tide turner, and yeah, that cipher is absolutely going to be primed by the time anyone goes down. Takako taking a hit on tide. Cipher is primed here. Looks like we are going to double back towards Otto, and it's just a matter of time. But a pallet stun, and they are going to pop the cipher a little bit late on that pop, honestly. It was, I don't know, maybe there was just a miscommunication there, but wow, nicely done here. Yami getting a little bit stuck, but is going to teleport over to the other gate, and the music boxes are coming into play here. Nyan having placed, it looks like all 3 of them, but oh, unfortunately just going to get knocked right out of that pirouette, and going straight down here. That gate is at 73%. It does look like Yami's just not going to bother to break those boxes just yet. Is just going to go ahead and share the dancer. Completely understandable here. The question is, I don't think we're going to be able to make it to that gate in time, though. This is looking like a 3-man escape. Are we going to be able to make it to the gate in time? No, that gate is very much open, and that's going to be, yeah, only a 1-man elimination there versus a draw. The way that these teams are just showing up against the Opera Singer, it's impressive. It's very impressive. And yeah, wow. Yeah, I do think it was just like a misclick there. I honestly, I don't even know how to use the pirouette, like the rare times that I play dancer. But yeah, wow. So that's going to be, I did forget to keep up with the score here, but in 2 seconds, let's see. So we've got 2 points there for AXIZ Wave this last round. We got 3. So it's going to be 5 points to AXIZ Wave, 2 points for the first round for FAV Gaming, and we're going to have 1 point there. So right now we're at 5-3, which is not bad. Honestly, like, it could definitely be better, but it could also be worse. A 2-point deficit, 1 round down is not, it's doable. You can come back from it, but more bans, more hunter bans as well, those are things you have to contend with in round 2. So going into that, after, yeah, I guess Age of the Novelist, that's the thing, any survivor really, as long as someone sits there and goes, I want to play this character, it's gonna happen. And there's going to be some kind of meta potential unlocked there. We've started to kind of see it with Painter as well. Yeah, no, it's a little, it's interesting to see how well, now, because he doesn't have any kiting buffs, does he? I don't think he had, like, he doesn't have a vaulting buff or anything, but yeah. Yeah, Opera Singer nerf. I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think that they should put her back, but they should keep this current nerf, with the, with the dash speed being reduced. That I think is definitely needed. I don't really think the teleport having a 20-second cooldown is needed. I think that's a little bit overkill. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Opera Singer, the thing with Opera Singer is that she's strong in concept. Because her dash has no cooldown and is insanely fast. The reason why it looks like, because I was watching, there were some IVL matches, and I'm gonna just take this aside to talk about Opera Singer for a second. I was watching some IVL matches the other night because I had missed them, and I was having COA withdrawals because there was no, I had watched all of the matches from this past weekend. So I was like, I want to watch more tournaments. I went and watched some IVL, and this was pre Opera Singer nerf. And you could tell the difference. Like, you can absolutely tell how much faster she used to be just from any old player. The difference is that it's noticeable here. The nerf made it more noticeable when people actually know how to play Opera Singer versus when they're just playing her because she's meta. But the thing is that the reason why we're getting opera singers like Bronto, we're getting opera singers like Peter, who are still insanely fast even after the nerfs, is because they know how to kind of game it so that it's an infinite dash. Because as long as because if you watch Bronto and if you watch Peter, they're very liberal with the cape throw, which you unlock at tier 1 presence. It's when she like throws the extra shadow area and can use it as like an extra bouncing point. The opera singers that are super fast still use that like crazy because the dash speed wasn't reduced when she was nerfed the first time. So that's been like making up for the general speed nerf, is that you can just kind of infinite dash really, really fast. That being nerfed is definitely going to change things. However, we're already seeing Opera Singer struggle. In tournament, obviously not as much in general matches, but I mean, you can kind of tell when I haven't gone against a lot of opera singers because I've like, you know, I'm in mid tier, and opera singers just kind of don't show up that much. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see how we've been kind of evolving in opera singer land. But yeah, no, I'm worried about Ivy just because if they release another hunter with like the fact that like they figured out that they could code skills to link to like the shadows around walls and immediately gave it to 2 hunters in a row. It just like it bothers me because it's like you guys are using like the same effects for 2 different hunters now. So if Ivy has that going on, I'm gonna be like, come on, guys. Like, we get it. You figured out that you could do something new. So now every new hunter has like the like aura around the walls. They really are. But yeah, I hope, I don't even know. I do hope that we get to control survivors. That would be so fun, honestly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know what her kit's gonna be like. I'm worried because I feel like they've kind of been scraping the bottom of the barrel for hunter skills lately. So I want something new. And it's like I don't envy them. I really don't, because I could not come up with gameplay skills for anything. I tried to make a Survivor OC once, and I got like, you know, maybe like half a skill down, and I was like, this is just kind of stupid. Like, this is just Gardner. So yeah, I mean, like, I couldn't do it, but you know, maybe someone could. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about nothing. You guys were saying that I'm gonna die over round 2, and so we're gonna just get that over with, I guess, once the video stops buffering. So for map bans and picks, it looks like we're banning, I genuinely can't even tell what map that is. Is that Chinatown? Yes, okay, we're banning Chinatown, and we're going to be playing on Leo's Memory. So yeah, I mean, it's not the worst map. It's a little bit hard for hunters, I feel like. Just because, I mean, like, what hunters are good on Leo's Memory? Lizard's okay. Lizard's actually good on Leo's. Other than that, there's not a lot of hunters who are particularly good on Leo's Memory. The factory is just such a strong area. There's a lot of strong hiding areas as well. Yeah, I mean, it's very give or take, because at the same time there's a lot of open areas to catch survivors in, but you know. Yeah, okay, we're gonna ban interesting. We're going to ban Antiquarian and Toy Merchant. So that does leave Priestess on the field. Priestess can be very, very good on this map. Really I mean, I understand the Toy Merchant ban, just because like she is very good on Leos. I feel like Priestess might have been. I mean, Toy Merchant has a little more ground support. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, we're gonna be locking in both Charles and Emil here. So we're gonna have Aeroplanist and Patient coming out. And those pick rates, hold on a second. I want to look at that. Got pick rate at 20 and 25%. So everybody who was saying that Aeroplanist wasn't gonna be meta, 20% pick rate when not banned. Or that might be, I don't know if that's overall or like when not banned specifically, but like 20% overall pick rate, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh, we're locking in Enchantress as well. Possibly gearing up for a Hermit, I would say. I don't actually remember Yami's mains off the top of my head. But yeah, Enchantress is interesting here. Because there aren't really, I don't remember if Yami plays Hermit, but it's not bad, actually. It's not really that. It's not a bad pick. It's just very, like, you know, when you still have Prospector on the table, when you still have, yeah, when you still have Prospector on the table, when you, obviously Coordinator was taken off the table, but, yeah, interesting. Yeah, Charles is very meta. Like, Aeroplanist, people understood what Aeroplanist does, and immediately it's like, okay, like, this guy is meta. He's not, like, he hasn't trickled down yet, mostly because he's not easy to use. But yeah, that's true. That's true. Invisible Ripper on performance graphics is definitely stealth. But yeah, looks like we are just gonna wait in on this hunt, or I think they're actually still picking Persona Webs here. But Opera Singer ban does mean that it can be basically anybody. So yeah, I don't know. I'm scared because you guys have made me. Sure, why not? Why not? FAV Gaming make phone calls. Well, I mean, it had to happen, okay? It had to happen someday. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Why? But why? That's my thing. It's like, why not? But why? But why? So the issue here is that you have two survivors that basically ignore walls completely. You have Aeroplanist and you have Patient. Both of them can just, you know, not touch walls at all. You have First Officer who can just run in the middle and not, you know, none of these survivors really depend on walls except for Enchantress, who farms stuns on chips. So, and it's Axis Wave. Yeah. So I guess. I mean, best case scenario here is that the chips go crazy. Like, if Yami's able to get a fast down here, somehow, if we get Enchantress first chase, okay? Enchantress first chase, somehow catch her really off, and then, you guys, come on. Alright, looks like we're, getting a little bit stuck there, but are going to head right towards the center here. Are we going to head into... No, Otto heading upstairs. Are we going to take this one? I don't think we should chase Aeroplanist. That's kind of the worst option to go for here. Yeah, okay, we're gonna switch targets again. That's a good choice because it is Aeroplanist, and that is just a bad idea. Aeroplanist in Factory is kind of just, please jetpack away from me. Please use your hover and go 9 million miles away where I can't catch up to you, unless I'm a lizard. And Yami is not playing Lizards, so basically, get it, yeah, a little bit of the aim, not connecting on the, on that pickaxe throw, but it does look like we've caught up to Nyan, and we don't actually have a lot of Cypher progress here, so it could be worse. We could be in a worse situation. Dropping that pallet, we're going to continue this chase around the shack. We do have the full shack to work with here. And we did actually get a chip in, so nicely done. Ooh, nice on the blink and getting stunned out of attack recovery as well. Nyan kind of messing that one up here. We do still have Flywheel though, and it looks like we are going to use our second. Okay, no, we do have a stun back, but flywheeling the heavy hit, getting it's a little bit dangerous to be so close to these walls here. Just kind of playing around these areas, a little risky, but it is working out. Missing the pickaxe. Nyan heading in the other direction here. And those ciphers are looking a lot healthier than they were about, a minute ago. We're almost 2 minutes into the match here. We're about to have our first cipher pop, last two at about 70. And yeah, these stuns just keep coming. I am learning something new about Fool's Gold. So for the record, I do not play Fool's Gold. I haven't played against a lot. I mean, I've played against a lot of Fool's Golds, but not like, not in a way that directly counters them. I'm learning something new today, which is that Enchantress, well, at least Nyan specifically can run laps, around Fool's Gold. Those, second of our first three ciphers is going to pop here. So we're at 2 ciphers remaining and playing around the pallet. Nicely done with that pallet stun. And Nyan just continuing the chase. Way to bring it back as well after the missed, the stunning out of attack recovery after a blink. And then we're still going, So that really just speaks to kind of Nyan's individual kiting skill. Going into this. Nicely done, using the stun to actually get out of the area. Unfortunately, Nyan is going to go down here. But our last 2 ciphers are at about 60 and 40%. So well on their way. It does look like Patient. Yeah, it looks like Patient and Aeroplanist are working on those, so no decoding debuffs in sight as first officer comes for this rescue. Yeah, not a good position to be in here. We do have a rock set up near Tuna's Cypher, so that will possibly get a little bit of chip damage on the board. Nicely done there, Takako getting stuck in the corner. We're going to throw the pickaxe here. But Tuna getting out of the way. Tuna also not getting caught in the throw on the pullback here, and a beautiful rescue there from Takako. Nice job with that pocket watch. I do think Takako is going to go down after Tide. And unfortunately, Nyan not able to use any of those stuns, is just going to go down once again. But it does look like actually that Cypher is almost primed here. Sitting at 90%. Okay, it does look like Tuna has returned to it. Yeah, I think that there was a rock there. So the Cypher was not able to be decoded. Cypher sitting primed here at 98%. Otto coming in for the rescue. Takako still down on the ground, but that's not going to be a second in just a moment. Ooh, a little bit of wasting there, and hitting the chair from right around Aeroplanist. Nyan is just has 2 stuns here, also Flywheel to work with. But really does need to be careful to just not get caught out. Taking that basic hit. Cypher hasn't popped yet. Are we... Okay, Cypher popping now. That was... I think we were... No, we weren't waiting on someone to get to the gate. Interesting. I would say that was a miscommunication, but okay. I would say with that we might actually be able to get a draw out of this. Because yeah, that was not ideal of a pop here. Tuna in the center of the map here. We do still have 2 hooks left to utilize if we take this kite, but no, Yami getting a little bit indecisive, heading back towards the gate. Otto has 3 jetpacks and a hover, so arguably a worse target here. to go for Yami at this time. But oh, getting the chip in there, nice. Getting a second chip as well. Also using the jetpack to try and get away a little bit, but getting a little bit stuck there. But that gate is open. We might be able to, if we're able to get... No, the heavy hit not... How did that not connect? Fool's Gold hitbox. But Dungeon is not here. Dungeon's actually... Ooh, Dungeon's pretty far away, actually. But Otto getting a little bit of distance there. Just heading for the gate, it looks like. Oh, but Yami heading to cut it off. Otto almost has the jetpack back up. Tuna and Takako can definitely get out here. Are we going to be able to get the dungeon? Other teammates have left. It's just between Otto and Yami here. Otto, one chip hit and a dream. Playing around this pallet. Are we going to be able to get it? This is so stressful here. It's either a draw or a 3-minute at this point, but oh, Otto just getting stuck in the radius of that last rock area. Nicely done there from AXIZ Wave. If that pop had not popped the way that it popped, that would have been so beautiful. That definitely should have been a win. I don't know what was miscommunicated there. But wow, yeah, that's, yeah, okay, well, yeah, no, exactly, the first chase was bad, but the pop just swung it the other way. I feel like the pop was, I thought that the pop was popped like that because they wanted to have somebody at gate. And they, like, if they had 3 people at gate, or, like, 2 to 3 people at gate, then they could have had the gate open, and then taken the 3-man. But it was just a miscalculation, on their part. But, yeah, that was just not good, but it was nicely done with the comp here, by AXIZ Wave, because, you know, you have basically your best possible options here for the chase are still incredibly difficult to chase, and not only incredibly difficult to chase, excuse me, but difficult to chase on this map. You know, you can't chase Aeroplanist in Factory. You can't chase Patient in Factory. Like, Leo's Memory as a map is so good for Aeroplanist and Patient, and those being the first 2 selections here from AXIZ Wave was just so smart. And I feel like just playing Fool's Gold here, was not... just not it wasn't. So yeah, that is we're having a lot of debuts here today. Oh yeah, I do need to update my scorecard here. So yeah, it's going to be another draw to start us off. So we're going to have 2 points to both teams. Which means that, yeah, we're at 7-5, and there's no change in the points, there's no change in anything here. It is up to FAV Gaming, to get pretty much any result that is not a loss. And in that same vein, it's up to, are they actually going to, are they going to swap? Okay, yeah, it does look like we're going to swap in, yes, no. Okay, yeah, Rise is going to come in for this round, which does change things a little bit, but honestly not that much. I mean, it's still, like... I think the one thing about this map is that, like, you can't really... Well, I mean, you can play Dream Witch, but, like, you wouldn't necessarily want to play Dream Witch. Obviously, Opera Singer is going to be banned, but yeah... Okay, so Leo's is a good map for Fool's Gold. I'll take your word for it. Unfortunately, that was just not good for Fool's Gold. Yeah. But Seer and Antiquarian being our first 2 bans tells us nothing. That is just kind of very, very standard. We are letting the Priestess out once again, but again, you know, I say this less often than I should, I think. But Japan meta especially really just does not depend on the Priestess. They're a lot more inclined towards Toy Merchant. They're a lot more inclined towards Aeroplanist. But Priestess is not as often used. Now, obviously, they could lock in Priestess here and make me look like an idiot. But she, even if she's not banned, she doesn't always come out here. And I feel like, especially now, if she's, I feel like if she's not picked here, then she's not going to be picked. Because FAV Gaming either needs to be super risky with their comp right now, like high risk, high reward, you know, locking out the Priestess for the rest of the rounds, or playing it safe could potentially result in, you know, they have to win. They can draw or win this, but they have to draw or win. They can't afford a 3-minute elimination. Okay, it does look like we're gonna start counter comping the Dream Witch here, with that Barmaid as well as Acrobat being locked in first. Definitely very good first picks here, especially targeting Rise here. Yeah, Novelist being in the global bans is so funny. I mean, he's a good first round pick. He really is. Because you can make up for round 1. But if it works, it works. He's a good kiter. He doesn't have any kiting debuffs. He doesn't have any kiting buffs other than his passive skill, and he does have a speed boost, so that obviously works. But I think the thing with Novelist is that he's relatively, once you get the hang of him, I feel like he's relatively user-friendly. I think that third spot as well is just very small because, that's the same spot that Charles looked tiny in. And William also looks tiny, but yeah, forward on the field here, responding to that Prospector ban. They're going very hard in this, like, kind of traditional Dream Witch counter. So Rise can obviously play Dream Witch here, but could also just not play Dream Witch and opt for something else. And we're going to have Aeroplanist here, once again, proving that when the Aeroplanist is not banned, we will be seeing the Aeroplanist. Because he just is. Sorry, I realized that I've been talking for like about 50 minutes straight, and hadn't taken any drinks of water, so I fixed that. But I know Rise plays Dream Witch and Opera Singer, but I'm much more used to Rise being a round 1 hunter, that it hasn't really, I haven't like muscle memoried anything past round 1 for Rise. So, yeah. Outside, like, you could play Dream Witch here. It wouldn't be, I feel like there's definitely better choices, like maybe a Geisha Lizard. But okay, we are gonna go with the Dream Witch. It's a safe option, especially if, yeah, I mean, it's a safe option, for a Dream Witch main. It's risky. It's very risky. It's, Leo's memory is okay. It's really not great for Dream Witch. It's not bad for Dream Witch, and especially it's not bad for a good Dream Witch, but it's not great. It's just really, you know, it's kind of I feel like Leo's memory is really just a neutral map for hunters. It's not like particularly good for any hunters except for like maybe Lizard on a good day. But in like very specific circumstances, I feel like Lizard is kind of, unless anybody else has anything to add, in my experience, I feel like Lizard is really the only hunter that's like particularly good on Leos. But hunters aren't really particularly bad on Leos either. It's really just kind of a mid map for hunting in general. But yeah, we are going to have, it looks like, forward in the center here, going with a very, you know, plus sign spawn. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty low stakes for Rise here. As long as we either get a draw bare minimum. Winning would obviously be great, means you're done in 2 rounds. But a draw is fine. AXIZ Wave still has the lead here. On the flip side, for FAV Gaming, a little bit more pressure here. You know, you need to get at least a draw, which is not that hard. And, you know, we did just see, you know, the lowest result of this, well, okay. Basically, like, getting a draw is not that hard. And as long as they're able to play this well, it's gonna be, you know, not the worst case scenario. It looks like we are going to head for Aeroplanist here. Very risky to head into to head for the airplanes here, but it looks like Aeroplane is actually kiting away from factory. It might be that we're just kind of trying to waste time outside the factory before heading into it and establishing the loop, wanting to kind of preserve items as long as possible, but dancing around this leech here. Oh, and getting the hit in right as Dacho pulls out that jetpack, so nicely done there. And a hit in under a minute there, so nicely done. Ooh, dropping off the side of the stairs here, and our patroller is going to be released here from Rise, so that is going to give the leeches quite a bit more time to catch up. I don't think you can really use Aeroplanist, like, I don't think you can use the jetpack to counter flywheel, or to counter flywheel, to counter patroller, because of the time. Oh, okay, we actually are going to try, but unfortunately, yeah, it's just not going to give us enough distance here. And both of the leeches are really able to catch up. Narisu, though, in the area, obviously we do not have excitement. We are working with, we're working with Patroller, but the leech coming in to body block for that rescue. Narisu not able to come in, and yeah, not a bad first chase, though. It was a 2-cipher first chase. Not quite as much progress on that third cipher as would really be ideal. But it's not bad. Nicely done with that stun from Narisu here, but we are looking at possibly a double down situation. Dacho does still have hover as well as a final jetpack to utilize. So it's definitely possible that we could see a pretty big redemption kite here. But Rise coming into the middle here. It looks like Felix trying to give a support. Dovlin, are we going to be able to get it off? It looks like we have actually switched to Blink now. And that getting sent into cooldown. Felix not able to catch up to Dacho here to give that Dovlin. But it does look like, yeah, that Dovlin is going to be used here. Felix taking a hit. It looks like we may have actually oh no, we haven't lost sight of Dacho here because we do still have the leech. So nicely kind of orchestrated here by Rise, just forcing these resources to be wasted. And that's kind of the most important thing that you can do, really, as any hunter, but especially as a Dream Witch, is just forcing the survivors to use as much of their items, as much of their resources as possible before endgame, because those resources, you know, once you hit endgame with detention and all of that, it gets much more difficult for the survivors to really avoid you unless they have their resources. If they have nothing to work with in endgame, you know, it's much, you know, it's easier to salvage, you know, a tie to a win or a loss to a draw, etc., etc. So yeah. Looks like we are actually healing up forward here. Dacho not going to rescue. No, Acrobat is actually here now. So that is going to be a nice rescue. But Dacho doesn't have anything to work with here and is just going to get Terror Shocked out of that pallet. And we are going to get the leech on Yogg, it looks like. So having as many bodies on the field as possible is really just, you know, the way of the game for Dream Witch. And the amount of control, we haven't really seen a lot of wide map control here from Rise, but, you know, we do have multiple teammates injured. Barmaid has no more Dovlins left. She did use her final Dovlin to heal up Narisu. So that is going to leave her itemless, unless she's able to pick up an item out of a chest or something. But it does look like Rise is actually approaching her position here, and waiting for that spawn follower to catch up. We are going to place the leech. Is the spawn follower is inbound, yeah, so we're seeing that on the edge of the screen there. And yeah, last couple of ciphers here are kind of stalling. We have one cipher at 55%, ciphers at 10, and we've started a new cipher, brand new cipher. That's really not too encouraging here. Okay, we have actually been able to return that 55% cipher. Unfortunately, it's forward. So that is kind of the thing with having a forward in your match. He decodes extremely slowly. He's also the only member of the team at full health, which is not going to last very long here because Rise is coming through. But it looks like we may actually be going for Yogg instead. But where we're at right now, I'm gonna say draw is probably the most optimistic we can get, because these ciphers are just not rushing. Yeah, I feel like they've been strung out a little bit. We're approaching 6 minutes into the match. We have 2 ciphers remaining. And I think that they're playing this very cautiously, I feel like. They've been very careful. They've been avoiding Rise a little bit more, I think, than necessary. They've been playing this very passively, which is not what you need when you're looking for a win. Um you do kind of need to play this a little more actively, especially when Rise is playing this actively. And is, pressuring these survivors. So Yog is going to be downed here. Those ciphers are still just not making any progress. Narisu does still have quite a bit of ball, so if we did want to see some harassment, it does look like that may actually be coming in, but no, Narisu balling into somewhere. I don't actually know where that ball ended up landing, but we're under half of that ball remaining. And yeah, no, I will say, as much as I miss KKK Hermit, I do think that obviously there's a reason that Rise is the main hunter. And I think it's really working for them. So yeah, no, it's been very fun. There's a reason why after this change, they're at the top. They're at the top of their bracket. But we have finally gotten our second to last cipher popped here. We have 1 cipher remaining, but those final ciphers are still at 23 and 42%. I think they are healing, if I'm not mistaken. They're either healing or removing their leeches. I would say probably the second at this point. Yeah, it does look like we're in the business of removing leeches, not so much as healing. Which I do remember, I think about this a lot. It was pointed out to me once that Japan teams tend to not heal each other, and they have a problem with taking too many hits and then forgetting to heal. And I feel like that is kind of on display here, even without, because Rise has definitely been pressuring the survivors, but not as much. Not as much as, a Dream Witch possibly could. It was Ray. But yeah, it's like there hasn't been as much map pressure as, you could potentially have with a Dream Witch at maximum capacity. But these survivors are still just not healing and not. Ooh, was that a chair hit? Nicely done there. Unfortunately, Blink coming through to down Narisu. And those ciphers still have not been touched. Yog has just gotten to a cipher. But unfortunately, Dream Witch coming through. And that is going to be Acrobat down as well. Felix heading to a cipher now too, but it's way too late for that. That is going to be a 4-man elimination here. That's that. So yeah, that's gonna be AXIZ Wave victory. But wait, are we okay? There we go. the hesitation on the surrender. But yeah, that Did you want to come back in? Yes. Lola, my cat Lola is very temperamental. And gets mad when I close my door so that I can stream, and she also gets mad when I have my door closed and lock her out. So she's back. But with that, yeah. AXIZ Wave, huh? I'm excited. I'm excited for Southeast Asia. I don't know how much of Southeast Asia I'm gonna be able to stream, mostly because I am a little bit more invested in watching Japan. I'll see as well if I'm able to stream China. I don't know if A, I will do that, B, if I will be able to even stream China qualifiers at all. But I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye on that. Yep. Southeast Asia starts, I believe tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern time. So, around 12 hours from now is when Southeast Asia qualifiers start. So, or 11 hours from now. 11 hours from now, is when Southeast Asia starts. So that's happening. That should be fun. Southeast Asia should be interesting. Especially considering that several, well, they disqualified a team, and they also disqualified Captkun from GH. So that it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting in Southeast Asia qualifiers. But okay, yeah. I'm very excited to see kind of just how things pan out through global qualifiers, because obviously like we are kind of familiarizing ourselves with Japan meta pretty hard. But yeah, like you guys were saying, we do like there's different meta for almost every region. And a little bit, we are kind of we are kind of developing a new meta in NAU, but I feel like NAU having their own meta is really just less because we have our own meta and more because we our meta consists of like we haven't moved on from old meta. But yeah, it's interesting, and it's especially interesting to see how COA kind of changes the meta as well. Because I feel like, especially like when COA season comes around, is really when the meta starts to evolve. Like the fact that Novelist has just shown up here, that means something, and I feel like we're gonna be seeing more of that. At least, if only from Japan, I feel like we're gonna see more Novelist, but. Yeah, well, Green plays forward. Green plays forward, and I do wonder what's gonna happen with that with like before you. If we start seeing Green get to play, but I don't even know if they're gonna have Green play this year. But of course, Rise coming out with the best deduction here, maximum points there with that last match. That's crazy. That's crazy, but very nicely done here from Axis Wave. I am going to bring us forward to the next match, which is Miss You versus Streamers. But in the meantime, I am going to put us on break for a minute. I'm going to go refill my water and also take a break from talking for like 2 minutes. So yeah, stick around. I will be right back, and we'll get right back into the action in about like, yeah, I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. I think I actually got it to work on the screen this time. So yeah, be right back. All right, that was more like 3 minutes, but whatever, it's fine. I'm glad that everybody is still here and also carrying on good conversations in the chat. Yeah, but heading into the next round here, that is off kilter and it's bothering me. Hold on. Here we go. It wasn't centered and I didn't like it. But yeah, heading into the second match of the day, with Miss You versus Streamers. MY once again is I've been really enjoying watching them. And they also have the best logo, I think. After of the honestly just of the teams in general. Like that's such a cool logo. But to briefly review, what is the hold on, wait. Wanna see what is that background? I'm not gonna be able to pause it in like a spot where I can see what's going on back there. But yeah, looking at MY, they actually I didn't even realize they had 3 hunters, but I do remember this now that they do have 3 hunters. I'm excited to see, and you guys are probably going, oh wow, Bones, I do wonder why you like to watch it and why it surely wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that they have a hermit. Yes, it does have to do with the fact they have a hermit. Yuri had the best hermit match that I saw out of the entirety of last week. So I am really, really, really hoping that we get to see that happen again. It was MY versus Juicy Pro JP. Very, very, very good match. It was on Red Church, and it was so good. It was so fun. I was so happy to actually be able to watch a hermit match that I wasn't like hiding under my table for. But yeah, MY is just such a fun team. When you're not getting confused over the fact that like they have Namako when we have Namiko on AWG, or Lim H when we have Lim on Axis Wave. You know, that I get tripped up with that, but they are such a fun team to watch. And moving on to streamers, we've got Yanasa and Eguite, both very, very fun hunters, and our survivors here with double mercenary in the lineup. But yeah, getting into, if I can find, where do we have our map picks? There we go. Map bans and picks here. We're going to have, looks like that is Sacred Heart, question mark. I think that is Sacred Heart. Yeah, that's Sacred Heart for our ban. And for our pick here, we're going to have Leo's Memory. Yeah, so getting right into things. Yeah, getting into things here. Sorry, I'm like going back and forth reading the chat, looking at the stream. But yeah, Embalmer and Antiquarian being our first 2 bans. Not entirely unprecedented, but I'm a little bit surprised. I feel like it's kind of just setting up here for yeah, I was gonna say coordinator looks like, and patient as well. Is that a new coordinator animation? Okay, no, it's not new. It something, I don't think that's the one that they usually use for her though. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really expecting anything crazy going on here. I mean, I feel like having novelist first picks in round 1 of the last game kind of like it sets the expectations in such a different place. When you like, you know, you have such a radical change to round 1 meta and then you go back to normal meta, it's like, okay, well, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, coordinator, patient, interesting. Okay. Yeah, coordinator, patient, lawyer, and mercenary. I feel like we're actually looking at and again, you know, we're seeing here that actually non-pro Japan meta is basically the same as our NAU meta. It's kind of a step behind from, it's imitating IVL basically. Because this is the exact comps that we were seeing in IVL. We barely see lawyer anymore. which is fascinating because we were seeing Lawyer almost every single match at the beginning of IVL and at the beginning of IJL as well. But we just, like, Lawyer hasn't been showing up. I just think it's just so interesting to me that, like, non-pro teams tend to devise these strategies that are just kind of, like, behind almost. But yeah, I feel like NAU is definitely gonna embrace the Lawyer pretty hard. And like not move on from it, I think, for a while. I think that Lawyer, because I mean, I feel like NAU as well is also like, we miss having decoders. But like more than other regions, we do like having decoders. We like having like proper rescuers, proper harassers whenever, like, because a lot of the time, you know, we'll see like Aeroplanist doubles as a decoder because he has 10% or a 2%. Where did I get 10% from? He has a 2% increase, so it's, you know, it counts. It's not a debuff. But because NAU is kind of like very married to COA 4, like triple rescue, one decoder. I feel like Lawyer is kind of, it's very in there. I also wish we could see Death Note skins, especially since Lucino is getting more popular. I would not mind seeing Ryuk in tournament. The problem is obviously that it's region locked, and tournament server is China. So I mean, Mechanic has her purposes in tournament, but Mind's Eye is Mind's Eye. I do think that there was Mind's Eye played last year, but it went very badly. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any real, excuse me. I don't think there's any real reality where Mind's Eye becomes meta. I think the best, like, the thing with meta is that characters become meta and like meta. I'm not meaning like the fact that MRC plays Perfumer. I'm talking like globally meta, like Aeroplanist. It really only happens when the character is easy to play. So Aeroplanist becoming meta, you know, he has a bit of a learning curve to him, but he's not too hard to play. Mind's Eye, you have the immediate debuff of not being able to see. So people, like, there's just better options. You know, you just go Lawyer. You decode pretty... Reinico? What is it with that specific hook? I swear to God, I saw a patient mess up that hook in a different match. I don't remember if I streamed it, but I swear to God, I've seen that exact hook get missed too. So that's so funny. Was it the same patient? Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, no, I knew I was like speaking when it happened last time, but yeah, no, that's very funny. Does look like Reinico. Okay, no, we're not gonna opt for basement here. Yanasa does want to. The thing with basement at this point in the match is that they would just sell. Like they would just completely sell. But yeah. So, you know, you do want to chair kind of above ground in this situation, because, you know, you want to bait out the rescue here. Namako coming in for the rescue. We're gonna just go ahead and take the hit. It's gonna be a, you know, respectable right before half rescue. And the gun coming in is gonna waste quite a bit of time, but we are still playing Opera Singer, so it's really just up to Yanasa, to be able to catch up. I think it looks like we're okay. See, this is the thing. This strategy of moving with Opera Singer worked before, but since the speed nerf, it really just doesn't work anymore. Yanasa is just not making dashes. Okay, there we go. Now we're dashing a little bit, but in this time, Reinico's just been able to get so much distance here with Patient, that it's just, you know, Now, and see, okay, now we're dashing and you can see that the speed is kind of returning to normal, but moving and swinging every time, yeah, it automatically resets your cooldown and makes sure that you don't, run out. But yeah, no, it was just not, it's just not good, not good. But yeah, this is a really good redemption kite, actually. We're working on our last 3 ciphers. All 3 of them are approaching 50%. Patient, yeah, is going to go down here, but with this cipher progress, I mean, we're probably looking at a draw situation no matter what at this point. Namako being injured is not great, but okay, no, we do still have Mercenary here. So pretty much guaranteed rescue. But it does look like we're heading for Lawyer, and switching to Abnormal. Oh no, not switching to Abnormal. It looks like Abnormal was actually the trait the whole time. I just didn't notice. I miss when they showed the persona webs and the traits at the start of the match. That was always very nice of them. But Lim H coming in for the rescue is just going to be able to get it here. We have 2 ciphers remaining in just a moment. There we go. Lim H is going to be downed here. And I feel like at this point, we could just continue taking body blocks. Yeah, it does look like Lim H is going to just keep body blocking here, taking a 3rd hit, trying to keep Reinico alive as long as possible here. That Tide Turner should be running out momentarily. Yeah, Lim H is going to go down. And Reinico just messing up there on that pallet, throwing it down on the wrong side, and is just going to be sent back to the manor here. Our final cipher, though, passing 80%. And it does look like Yanasa has seen that, is just heading into the factory here. Namako moving as fast as possible away from that cipher because, coordinator, nothing to work with. Shiro as well, not taking a hit there. Nicely done with the Lawyer, and it does look like we're working with 3-9 here. So that is going to be able to get quite a bit of distance. But is it the same shadow? That's weird. Yeah, I thought there was a second shadow on the other side, but yeah, interesting. We do have all 3 survivors injured here. Oh, and abnormaling that final cipher. Nicely done, all the way down to 40%. But a pause coming into effect here. I wonder what that's about, but we are just going to fast forward back to the match. We're on pause, and we're back. It's like I'm gonna rewind a little bit just to make sure I catch the end of the pause here. All right, yeah, heading back into the match. And yeah, just heading back into this center cipher here. Lim H taking the kite is just going to go ahead and elbow pad. And doubling back here, we're kind of entering this Dream Witch-esque camp game. But a little bit of mind games there. Yanasa could have taken that hit, but I think we're just trying to watch out for Flywheel. I think that was what that was. Obviously, Namako does not have Flywheel. Did have Tide Turner. Tide Turner does have Broken Windows and Knee-Jerk Reflex. And heading across the map once again here over to where both Shiro and Lim H are decoding. But yeah, I feel like at this point we really should be healing just because, yeah, Lim H is going to take a hit here. And we're not going to be able to pop the cipher or rescue. Lim H has used self-heal as well. So that's really not a great situation to be in. If this continues at the rate that it's going, Yanasa's doing a really, really good job right now of just wasting these survivor resources and wasting the map resources as well. If you look here, almost every pallet in this area has been used, and really the only thing that you can do without any items against an opera singer is to just spam items, or to spam pallets. So yeah, that was not going to last very long. It's impressive that it lasted as long as it did. Actually, that cipher is nearly primed. But Namako is going to go to basement, so they really do just need to pop it to get Lim H up, and back on the field here. We do still have Abnormal, but we can switch. We have, Trump card in play here, but hasn't quite gone off yet. Shiro at the gate waiting. but has not touched it yet. It looks like Nyanasa's actually going to sniff him out here, so heading for Lawyer right now. The other exit gate is being opened. It looks like they might just be going for the solo escape here, possibly looking for Shiro to get dungeon, but that dungeon is not here. Heading back towards the basement might have been a mistake, though. Are we going to be able to teleport back to where Shiro was kiting, or no? It does look like Yanasa's just going to have to take the long way. Were there no decoys left over there? That's just a little bit of a miscalculation here. Yanasa getting lost, worried that someone's going to go back and rescue Namako, but that's not what anyone else has plans for. Shiro already almost all the way to the gate. This is looking like a draw from a 3-man elimination. Yup, that's exactly what it's going to be. Shiro able to make it to the gate. That is just so unfortunate. They're just not committing to Lawyer getting a little bit tripped up. And to be fair, they absolutely could have gone back and tried to get that rescue on Namako. It would have been risky, but in the event that, it was an overcautious thing to do. I understand why Yanasa did it, but it obviously, it was not the right decision. That's just so unfortunate, having that win there, and then just kind of, not seeing it to fruition. But yeah, getting that score in here. We're starting off with yet another draw. I feel like every opera singer match has becoming a draw, which is honestly much better than the days where every opera singer match was 5-0, 5-0. It's become, the playing field has shifted. So survivors are doing a lot less kind of fighting for a solo escape here. It's a lot more fighting, getting the draw instead of the solo escape, which is huge. In the early days of Opera Singer, it was, which team can get not 4-manned. And clearly we're seeing draw after draw after draw, in Opera Singer land. So yeah, it's, I would say it's a combination of the nerfs, but it's also just that not all of these hunters are Opera Singer mains. So yeah, it's a multifaceted issue. It does make me a little bit sad, honestly. But yeah. Anyway, moving on into the second half of round 1. If I can read my own handwriting. And there we go. Alright, heading into the second half of round 1 here. I did get a little bit ahead of myself, so we're going to also be banning Antiquarian and Embalmer for our first 2 picks coming in from streamers. Taking a little bit of a second on that, but I would say I would probably expect to see, Patient again. Something along those lines. Okay, no, we're gonna go with Gardner and Seer here. Seer's kind of bold. Bringing out the Seer right away before we get a chance to ban that. So honestly, very smart. Kotami, a little bit interesting, banning the Mercenary instead of the First Officer. That does leave First Officer still on the table. First Officer, arguably, a much better rescue against Opera Singer. Okay, yep, and STR is going to take that. I almost wonder if Kotami's actually not going to play, not going to play Opera Singer, but I don't know. I do think Kotami is a Dream Witch main, so we could see that, but Acrobat coming in regardless. The thing, again, I have said this before, so if you think I'm repeating myself, I am. But the problem with trying to kind of, bait out the Opera Singer picks and play Dream Witch instead is that Opera Singer picks also counter Dream Witch. So Kotami was, I think, the one who had the really good Dream Witch on Red Church. Unless I am really stupid. Yes, Kotami was. Kotami had the crazy dream witch. And I can actually say this time. If you want to watch that match, I covered it last week. I have it up on YouTube. I think it's still on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken, but my YouTube is also 206 Bones. You can probably find it. You can also find it by taking the title of this video, or I think I actually have it linked on my profile. I don't remember. But yeah, I have that on YouTube. Watch it. It's, I believe, I actually don't remember. I think it was the second half of round 1. Maybe it was round 2. But yeah, it was, in fact, it was Dream Witch on Red Church, MY versus AWG, and it was, I have never seen a Dream Witch have that level of control. It was crazy. Okay, but we are gonna bring out Opera Singer here, which, fair, especially since, you know, Leo's Memory, obviously not bad for Dream Witch, but not great. I would probably play Opera Singer over Dream Witch on Leo's Memory. You know, Red Church, you can really pull that off. Arms Factory, Chinatown even, Ever Sleeping, you can pull off the kind of interchangeable Dream Witch and Opera Singer. But Leo's Memory is a little bit more sketchy. And I feel like especially when you kind of just need, well, you need a draw or a win here. You have an even slate, so like it can't hurt. It can't hurt to bring out the Opera Singer, unless it can, you know, and I guess we'll see momentarily if that kind of, you know, happens. But regardless, yeah, heading into this match, I would say for first chase here, we're probably going to see heading towards First Officer, baiting out the watch, and then heading towards something like Acrobat, but there's really no great first chase here. The best option for first chase, I would say, would have been Seer, but Seer is obviously placed in the factory, so good on the spawn points here from STR. Gardener's not a great first chase. Can be good, but, you know, isn't that ideal. Acrobat as well. But yeah, anyway, heading into things, it does look like we're actually just going to go ahead and going towards the center here, or, okay, no, it does look like we're just placing, the shadows around, kind of setting up the area, looking to set up a teleport back, maybe? Yes, it does look like that's what's happening, but unfortunately just a little bit too slow on the uptake there. Shu able to just vault right back over and does still have that bubble in play. This is not a great loop here. Shu doing a really good job right now, of just keeping Kotami on the outside of that wall. We do have Blink up in about 16 seconds, so that's obviously going to put a damper in it, but Shu already transitioning. And yeah, that bubble is out here, so Shu in a little bit more danger. But it should be back pretty soon. And ooh, nicely done with that owl, giving just enough time here. I think that Shu should be able to, oh no, we're going to take a hit there. Bubble should be up pretty soon, I would say, so I would definitely expect that to come out. Probably, yeah, okay, it does look like we're doing it now, but, ooh, just missing that Terror Shock. Nicely done. And, oh, just getting hit right through that pallet, but nicely done there by Shu. We got about a minute and a half on that containment, or we're a minute and a half into that match. First cipher is about to pop. Other two ciphers are at 60 and 80%. So that's about a 2.5 cipher kite, give or take a little bit, you know. But yeah, a pretty fast down, but good cipher progress to offset it. You know, we're kind of we're on very neutral stages here. But I do think that Shu should be able to kind of rebound kite here, as long as everything goes well. But ooh, that pallet missing is actually not going to be great. Yeah, okay, I thought that pallet was still there. That changes things kind of drastically. Yeah, Shu not really able to pull enough distance away from the chair, is just going to run as far away as possible from it, and hopefully, you know, just die away from the action, but a little bit too close here to Acrobat. But we are going to just flip back here and head for where Gardner went down. That is going to be in this corner. Ciphers are still looking pretty good. We're about to be at 2 ciphers remaining. Okay, no, they're actually looking very good. 2 ciphers remaining here, and we're going to have the final 2 ciphers at 60 and 30%. Both of them are being worked on now, which, is only, helping. It's only going to make things better. And, ooh, a little bit of... Did that go through? No, I don't know if that went through, with the Shadow Cape. But nice use of the Firebomb there to cut off the dash. And that rescue is going to go through. Acrobat does have Tide here. And we do have Gardner's bubble up, but Acrobat going to take the hit anyway. Gardner is a little bit more... Yeah, I do feel like Dream Witch might have been better here. We are going to have 1 elimination, though. And this can definitely be a draw. I do think at this point it's going to be a draw. Draw situation at probably not best, but at most likely. The Cypher's not yet prime, but we do have teleport up. Oh, yeah, teleporting right onto the prime Cypher here. We've got First Officer activating his final watch, and backing up a little bit, but I don't think anyone else is in the area yet. Just staying on Tarako. Oh, but baiting out. Yeah, oh, nicely done there. That was, okay, what happened there? Gaining distance away in order to try and bait out the watch shake to reveal the First Officer's location. If First Officer is out of the range of the Hunter, the illusion image overlaps his actual location. So that is what Kotami was trying to bait out. Tarako tried to save it by shaking the watch a 3rd time. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late. Kotami already knew where the First Officer's main body was, so that just didn't really work out. But valiant effort there. Cypher's still going to be locked at 87%. We've got our second final Cypher at 50%. And Acrobat is being pressured off of it. It does look like we do have Seer going in for that rescue, but Kotami not quite able to double back for it. So First Officer is going to be rescued. It looks like just before half. Seer just able to get there in time, but now we're stuck all the way across the map from the Prime Cypher. Yeah, Kotami's not even going to waste time with trying to chair the Acrobat. He does have no self-heal. Ooh, and just missing that shadow there, unfortunately. Going to send that skill into cooldown. That is the thing. That is the thing with Opera Singer. It does look like Kotami getting a little bit cautious here and is going to opt to chair the Acrobat. Which is, watching this movement is kind of, understanding how Opera Singer works here, with the constant dash, with the constant dash, obviously it's constant. Once it runs out, she's a little bit stuck. But you can also double back into it. Like, she has a lot of, if this, then that. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But, oh, teleporting, but the Cypher's going to pop! First Officer is going to go down here, though. That's a little... Yeah, I mean, there was really no choice but to pop at that point because First Officer was 1 hit down, no watch. But, yeah, just a little bit unfortunate here. I think we could definitely make this into a 3-man elimination. If Kotami is able to. Using that teleport right away is a little bit rough. Because it is going to be on cooldown, but missing that hit through the pallet. We're just going to double back here, try and catch Acrobat, it looks like, but heading back towards Seer. We're trying to have as much map control as possible here, from Kotami, but yeah, that is going to be, ooh, and nice on the Terror Shock. I don't think Paripa is going to be able to get to that share in time. That is going to be a 3-man elimination here. Nicely done. Is it going to be a 4-man, I think is the real question. I would say probably not, but there's definitely... Actually, Dungeon is not on this side of the map. Dungeon is over, I think, in the back by where that dungeon spawns, but no, wait, Kotami doubling back. Needs to keep pursuing that route, though. If we're able to find Acrobat is the thing here, and this is the thing with Leo's memory, it is just kind of big, which is why, hunters do tend to struggle on it. Not only are there several kiting areas, but it's also just big. It's a lot of ground to cover. You end up, if the survivor is on the wrong side of the map, then they're just on the wrong side of the map. But it does look like Kotami has kind of deduced where Acrobat is, but limited amounts of time before Seer takes off. Are we going to be able to catch up to? No, heading in the opposite direction. The dungeon's back in that corner. It does look like Acrobat is going to be able to get that escape here. That's just a little unfortunate there. Not turning around in time and not knowing where that dungeon had spawned. Damn. But what a well-played match there. Especially after that opening, STR did start very, very strong in that match. So for MY to be able to turn that around, for Kotami to be able to turn that around into a 3-man elimination, very nicely done. But Opera has a special nerf. What is it? Anyway, while we called Opera, yeah, that yeah, that very much is Opera main second guessing themselves. Yeah, no, that is exactly it. I think because the thing with Opera Singer is that she's so difficult to play just from she's not smooth to play. She's very janky. So, you make one mistake, you miss one dash, you're stuck in cooldown for 7 seconds, and she's such a fast-paced hunter that, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it is kind of, hunter matches do really depend on fast eliminations, so, yeah, it's definitely understandable, the way Kotami plays the game. It's stressful. But it does, it feels like Dream Witch. And it does feel very similar to that Dream Witch match where it's and it kind of feels like playing Hermit as well. You're losing for the first 3 ciphers and then it snowballs. But yeah, it's interesting to compare the intricacies of Opera Singer gameplay, and we kind of have a free reign to do that because we see a lot of Opera Singers. But anyway, heading into round 2 here, we've got, and is that a second Eversleep? I think that's a second Eversleep, or not Eversleeping, my god. A second Sacred Heart Hospital ban. We're going to be on Lakeside Village, if I'm not, yeah, Lakeside we are going to be on. And yeah, it looks like Yanasa is still hunting. I think the way that STR structures their hunter and survivor situation is that they have Eguite come in for round 3, and then Yanasa plays the first 2 rounds. But yeah, looks like we're going to be banning Toy Merchant and Aeroplanus for this first match. So that is a deeply targeted ban to a large portion of my viewer base. So obligatory apologies for that. Global bans right now are Coordinator and Patient. So both Patient and Aeroplanus are off the table. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Mercenary coming out here. But I would say probably not first choice on that Mercenary. First picks here, I would say not knowing who Yanasa plays. Okay, yeah, we are going to see that Mercenary first, as well as an Embalmer here, so it does look like MY is really prioritizing getting as many survivors out as possible, taking that defensive route here with the Embalmer. The Embalmer can be really nicely used, on Lakeside, with the amount of levels. It's much more difficult to catch up to the coffins, and it's a huge map. So I'm very excited to see how MY is able to utilize that Embalmer. Defining examples of how mains influence other gameplay. Mushin. Everything that Mushin does is because he's a Geisha main. And you can watch this with Night Watch. You can watch it with, who else does Mushin main? Wax Artist. Dongshan, Sprinter. Any Dream Witch main plays everything like Dream Witch. Any Geisha main plays everything like Geisha. They do treat Aesop like Priestess. That's exactly why Priestess is not, well, is not really meta in Japan. Is because they play Embalmer instead. Which I think is because Embalmer has no decoding debuff. I genuinely think. Is this a real team comp right now? The Aiden team comp? That's crazy. That's crazy. we got yaoi particles in the air right now. It's not the stage play. It's not the stage play because that was Helena. This is Mind's Eye Erasure. Yeah, me too. But yeah, wow. What a comp here from MY. We've got the we've got the mercenary, we've got the Embalmer, Prospector, Seer. I mean, it's not a bad comp. It's really like it's a hilariously well balanced comp. But okay, guard 26. Yeah, Yanasa is a Bonbon main, so I'm not surprised to see that. And it's not bad, honestly. Bonbon's pretty good on Lakeside, mostly for the same reason that that Geisha's good on Lakeside. You can kind of just fill everywhere with bombs and call it a day. But I don't know why I said Geisha. It's like, similarly, like, you wouldn't think that they're good on this map, but they're good on this map. But also, I don't even know why I don't think Geisha's good on Lakeside. I think it's because I play her in duos and I struggle, but that's also because I'm bad at Geisha. Anyway, spawns here. We're gonna have Mercenary spawning in the shack. Both Seer and, I keep forgetting Prospector as a word. And I don't know what's up with that. But Seer and Prospector at Small Boat and Embalmer up at Big Boat. We're going to have Yanasa spawning in the corner here. In between all three survivors here. So we kind of got pick of the litter. I would say Seer and Prospector. Honestly, there's not really, other than Mercenary, which is just going to be annoying. Both Seer and Prospector aren't terrible. Prospector is going to be an issue. But I feel like Seer first chase is kind of that's the vibe. That's the vibe here. You could definitely go for Mercenary first. The problem is that that leaves the rest of the survivors open to decode. And so yeah, having Mercenary on decoding here is definitely, you know, something you want because that is the slowest decoder on the team. But yeah, it will block off Big Boat Cypher probably. Yeah, no, it will. I think 99% chance it will. I need to like research how ciphers spawn based on like if the cipher spawn is linked to the survivor spawn in area selection mode. Does anyone know that? Because I don't know that. I will either look it up at some point or someone else knows. March hair, nice. Styling. But yeah, it does look like Embalmer was forced off the boat, but we are gonna see Embalmer just head directly to the shack. And Seer taking this first chase here. Yanasa is carrying Confined Space and Detention. It does look like we have, I think that is I think that's Teleport. I'm not sure what the cooldown is, but I think it's Teleport. I would be surprised if it was Excitement. But okay, yeah, no, I do think that it is. Okay, yeah, it is Teleport. Nice with the chip here, on Reinico already. Reinico keeps taking this first chase. But missing the second chip here. These ciphers are at pretty even trajectory right now. Nice on the flywheel. I don't know if that chain would have actually hit there, but nicely done on the flywheel anyway. Reinico is going to take the basic hit though. and is going to continue the chase, just kind of continuing around here, but we do have confined space, so Reinico, yeah, seeing that, forced to move over here. Looks like we are working with, okay, so we're actually carrying no borrowed time on Seer here. We've got, Flywheel as well as Broken Windows, so yeah, no borrowed time on that, but I don't think that's going to be an issue here, especially since Reinico is the first chase. They definitely did prepare for that Seer first chase, and Seer is going to go down here, but not after almost 3 ciphers. We've got 2 cipher pop. Obviously, Mercenary Cipher is taking a little bit more time, but Prospector in the area, I don't think he's going to be able to really get a stun off. No, yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Prospector is just going to have, we do have a magnet on Yanasa, but it's not going to be put to much use just yet. But let's see, yeah, we've got Reinico on chair here. It does look like, are we going to go in for this? Yes, it does look like Mercenary is on the way, I think. If I'm not mistaken, but it does actually look like, no, Mercenary is actually just giving Tinnitus here. They're letting Seer sit for quite some time. I almost wonder if they're going to sell at this point. They could definitely afford to do so. I think the thing here is that MY doesn't realize that Yanasa has teleport here. I think they just, well, maybe they anticipate the teleport. Okay, here we go. We are going to have the teleport come into play here. Namako is going to take the kite. Yeah, Reinico is just going to be eliminated there. So a little bit unfortunate. I don't love it when teams sell right away. But it's not a bad choice here. Namako is going to take a chip, though. It's a little bit risky, I feel like. It does mean that Bonbon can't get any more presents, which is why it's so popular to sell against Bonbon. But nicely done with that chip there. Very, very smooth. Namako just getting stuck. But yeah, no, it was 100%. It was just them not wanting to risk the Bonbon camp. Because, yeah, I mean, like, and warrantedly so. But Namako just taking all of those chips in a row. Very, very hungry prospector. But does leave Mercenary able to come in for this rescue with Tide as well as with 3 elbow pads. Embalmer hard at work on that final cipher here, passing about 50%. It does look like Yanasa is coming for that Mercenary, knows or at least had an idea of where Lim H was, and is going to be able to spot him out here. Teleport has 30 more seconds on it. I do think Yanasa may have just taken note of where the final cipher is, but I guess that will remain to be seen. Right now we're focusing on Mercenary, taking a chip, taking a second chip here, and actually getting knocked out of an elbow pad. Cannot take another hit. Lim H, oh, using the elbow pad. Oh, man, yeah, using the Cypher Pop to be able to get to the chair. Unfortunately, wow. Everything just happened at once. Wow. Yeah, the flywheel I'm a little bit sad about, because the flywheel was unfortunately just not able to, ooh, nicely done with that stun. But yeah, the flywheel, unfortunately the flywheel did kind of go to waste because Mercenary did end up taking that hit. But yeah, that's, yeah, that's just a little not great here. I don't think Embalmer had everyone's appearance. That just fell apart. That just fell apart completely. Wow. Yeah, no, that was just a total communication breakdown. That really was. I think that pop, that pop, it was a very, excuse me. Ugh. I had to stretch there, get my brain working again. But the pop had to happen the way it did in order to not immediately kill Mercenary. The problem was that, yeah, exactly, that Mercenary didn't communicate anything, I guess. Yeah, no, that was just a full communication breakdown. And it happens. I mean, it happened to AWG in the match against MY. Like, it happens all the time that Survivor teams just collapse. But you know, that is also part of a team. I love this commentator's outfit. Sorry, I just noticed the ruffles on the sleeves. But yeah, like it's just the marker of a good team is a team that's able to have that communication go up, and even when it goes down, kind of like rebuild it and have it come back. But it didn't come back after the pop, and that's why selling Reinico was such a risk, because it's like, yeah, obviously it does keep Yanasa at the chair, but they weren't really taking advantage, or they weren't able to take as much advantage as they would have liked of having the Embalmer on the team. If Embalmer had been on the team, or if Embalmer had been on the team, if Embalmer had been able to embalm Mercenary, then that would have been an automatic draw. But I think Embalmer just didn't get teammate appearances. So yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's just really, really unfortunate. And that's also why Priestess is, you know, good. And using Embalmer as a Priestess is, you know, you have to actually put in the effort to use the Embalmer as the Priestess instead of just, you know, oh well, we'll worry about getting appearances later, you know. But yeah, getting the scores on my screen so that we don't lose track of it. It's going to be 1 point hello. 1 point to MY and 3 points to streamers. So yeah. That I have never seen well, okay, not never. I wasn't expecting to see the match fall apart like that. I think that's why it's so like, wow, okay, you know. But yeah, heading into the next match here, our first two bans are going to be Mercenary and Antiquarian. So once again, here we are not leaving the Seer out in the open. You know, usually it is Seer and Antiquarian who are the first bans, but because streamers already used the Seer in the first round, we're not going to be seeing that Seer come back. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be a Hermit match. Hermit's not bad on Lakeside, but yeah, no, I would not really want to see a Hermit on Lakeside right now. Especially when it is 4-man or no man basic. Well, if Yuri is able to get a 4-man elimination, then it ends here. But that's it. Yeah, it does look like, ooh, it looks like we're also locking an Entomologist, so that's interesting. STR possibly preparing for that Hermit, but we'll see. We've got Acrobat on the field, Embalmer, Entomologist, and for our final pick, we're going to lock in the first officer once again. Are they going to show? Okay, 35.4% pick rate. Yeah. Bands here, yeah, we've got the Aeroplanist band, which is why we're not seeing an Aeroplanist. We've got the Forward band. So no harassers on the team. But I mean, I guess Acrobat kind of counts as a harasser, but also not really. Entomologist can also be a harasser. But no stunners. No stunners. Why are we bonesing? No, you can say it. the knife she ban. And William. I missed. I skipped over the last two. But yeah, I do enjoy the bench. The bench is funny. The bench is very funny to kind of picture in your brain, let's say, while everyone else is standing up there. I do wish, I know that there was a Geisha. Okay. Entomologist makes this a little scary. Entomologist makes this very scary. This, I feel like this is not a good position to be in. It's a very good spawn from STR. A very bad spot to be put in. If you are Yuri right now. The issue here is that there's no good first chase. There's no good first chase. You automatically, you know, heading into this match, you can't even go into the shack because immediately Entomologist is gonna have bees there and you can't get through the doorway with a dash. Acrobat's annoying and is immediately going to kite to the small boat / 11 area. So that's gonna be, you know, terrible to deal with. First officer is first officer. Embalmer's your best bet, but he's all the way across the map. Now that's entirely doable, and you can go across the map if you want. But it takes a lot of time. And, excuse me, it's still an Embalmer on Big Boat. And you still have to work with Big Boat. At least we get to look at Lady 13, okay? At least we get to look at Lady 13. But it does look like, okay, Entomologist actually has not placed the bees yet. It does look like Entomologist may have spawned outside of, ooh, nice on the butterfly there. Unfortunately, Paripi just going a little bit too far out of range. Wasn't quite able to cut off Entomologist. But, yeah, having our second dash come through here, not getting caught in the bees. Nicely done by Yuri to avoid that. And Paripi is just going to be able to keep up this containment around the shack for quite some time here. I would say, yeah, we are going to drop the bees in the doorway. Butterflying through them is okay. It does look like we're going to take at least a little bit of time to break them. Bees are now on 18-second cooldown, and we are going to get our first hit in here. Very nicely done. Paripi just getting a little bit caught up in the edge there. And here is our second butterfly. We've got first 3 ciphers are passing 50%, and the blink is going to come out. And that is going to be Entomologist down. Bees are not summoned, I don't think. So nothing to break here. Yeah, not a bad first chase. Definitely not ideal that we've now had to leave First Officer's Cipher at around 60%. But yeah, I mean, we've got two ciphers. 2 ciphers are about to pop here, so we're gonna be at 3 ciphers remaining. Getting the hit in on first officer here. Dungeon spawn is now known by everyone, so that is something to note. But yeah, Entomologist having the bees out once again. Geisha getting a little bit stuck in them. Not going to break them all the way. We've got about, I want to say like a third of the bees left here. And that is going to send them into 20-second cooldown once again. Just keeping up this containment. We're still at 3 ciphers remaining. First officer cipher has been returned to here. We've got our final 2 ciphers starting at 25% and just passing 10%. Yuri getting a little bit caught up here, needs to do a little bit of cleanup work, which is exactly what's about to happen. Nice with the bees. Unfortunately, Paripi just not quite able to keep up with them, and that is going to be our second down here. Bees are now fully eliminated. And yeah, we are at 2 ciphers remaining here. I would say at this trajectory, it's probably still going to be a draw. Which is just, you know, the state of Cypher Rush being what it is. I would say, a draw, possibly heading towards a win. But we need a 4-man elimination for MY to win in this round. So, you know, not the most, ooh, nicely done! Beautiful rescue stuff there! That is well, it's a little bit game-changing. I think we're still looking at a draw, but it's a much more secure draw than it was about 5 seconds ago. Because that final cipher is A, almost primed, B, first officer doesn't have to move off of it. Because there are still, you know, there's still 3 survivors remaining. But oh, Yuri coming out with the teleport here. We still have first officer still has watches. So that's a little bit unfortunate here. It looks like Yuri might be trying to just bait it out here. But Let's see. Do we have First Officer's real location? Yes, we do. Currently overlapped here. Shaking the watch a third time. Unfortunately, we're still out of range. Yuri is going to know exactly where First Officer is right now. But yeah, we do have, it looks like, what are we doing over there? Because we haven't started another cipher yet. Tarako is going to go down. Shu, it looks like, is coming across the map to rescue, and I'm gonna say 45. For TA5 is starting a new cipher machine. I don't know how I feel about that one, but Shu coming in for the rescue from behind here, so a little bit unfortunate that Yuri didn't see in time, but we are going to get, not quite getting the hit in yet, but Shu is going to take the hit here. Rescue is going to be before half. New final cipher, I should say, is at 40%. And ooh, nicely done. Second terror shock here on the First Officer. And that is going to be our second chair. Is basement here? Yes, we are going to go for the basement on this one, because at this point, they kind of need to rescue. They could honestly get away with not rescuing and just popping the cipher and trying to do something a little bit like how MY did it. That would be a little bit risky for STR. I think right now, no, they're setting up for hopefully a draw, I think. Yeah, they are just going to go ahead and pop it. I feel like, oh no, but Shu does still have a coffin. That coffin is all the way across the map. A little bit unfortunate, though, that we're not going to see, we're not going to be able to see that gate get open, but changing on to Acrobat here. Acrobat does still have quite a few... okay, never mind. Well, I was going to say Acrobat does have quite a few resources left, but that's not going to happen here, because getting caught out before even being able to use that ball, and Acrobat is going to be chaired once again. Shu heading back across the map here. Oh, before 45 was dead on chair. Are we going to be able to catch up to the open dungeon? No, that is going to be Embalmer taking that dungeon escape. We could have honestly slugged there, I think. I would say Yuri either just wanted to have the points advantage heading into round 3, or, you know, just... it wasn't worth, you know, risking the draw for a result, I would say. Risking the draw and allowing STR to win the round. That is going to be a draw for the round, though, with a 3-man elimination there. So we are at basically the same amount of points that we were in the previous round. We've got MY is still in the lead here. Yes, MY is still in the lead here. Heading into round 3, though. So very excited to see round 3, I would say. I guess we'll find out as soon as I get to the timestamp, but I would say, oh, that looks like a hunter switch, question mark. Yes, we are going to see Eguite come out here. Eguite scares me. But has played Leo before. Does look like, okay, yeah, I was gonna say we're probably gonna be on Chinatown. That is kind of the classic round 3 map. We are going to be on Chinatown here. So it really is just a question of who Eguite is going to play, or if, you know, I would say MY here, Opera Singer, Night Watch ban is gonna be their best bet. I'm scared because Eguite plays Leo. He could actually pull out the clown here. I would say they might actually ban clown. Okay, Priestess ban coming out here. It's a little bit interesting, but I would say with Embalmer ban, that definitely makes sense. Okay, we are going to ban the Opera Singer or the Clown. That makes sense. Does leave Night Watch on the table. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that out of Eguite because he has played Night Watch before. We are going to lock in the seer and the forward. So MY not pulling out any stops here, really wants to secure this lead that they have right now. So yeah, I don't quite know. Let me see. So we're at 5-3. We're at a 2-point deficit. So if Eguite is able to 4-man, and then their survivors are able to get a draw, I think they need a 4-man and a draw or some kind of situation like that. There's probably other ways to achieve a win here, but okay, so in forgiveness for banning the Aeroplanist and the Toy Merchant last match, we're going to have the Aeroplanist and the Toy Merchant making an appearance. So that is the reward, I guess, to the majority of my viewer base. But yeah, we're going to have for our bans here. So something interesting to actually look at right now is that there's technically no rescuers on this team, even though there are. But forward and mercenary and first officer were both open, and neither of them were picked. And, that is just because there are better options that can still feed the same roles. Patient was banned. I would say Patient could have been picked here, but Aeroplanus is just that good that I would say they probably would have picked Aeroplanus even if Patient wasn't banned yet. This is, overall, this is just a very strong team comp for pretty much any hunter. It's very well balanced. You have teammate support with the okay, yeah, we are gonna go Night Watch. We have the teammate support here with the forward, with the seer, and with the Toy Merchant. I would say the only possible drawback would be if they get a little bit too support happy. But it's not an overwhelming amount of harassers, so I would say, it's not as risky as the I think there was an Enchantress forward prospector comp last week. Or it was Cowboy, Enchantress, Cheerleader. That's what it was. It was Cowboy, Enchantress, Cheerleader, Mercenary. And that was a little bit heavy on the harassment. This one's still heavy on the harassment, but it's in a way where it's less stun focused, which means that the harassing happens at a different time. So it's a little bit more staggered than, everyone coming to support the balloon, as opposed to Seer doesn't have to move away from a cipher to have the owl. Toy Merchant can just set up catapults. Interestingly, though, they didn't they didn't spawn within the hotel, which I definitely understand, because it does kind of it's a guaranteed location that someone's going to stay in. But allowing Eguite to spawn in that hotel, I mean, if they're able to counter rotate, which they definitely can, I would say either Namako or Shiro can make it into the hotel, or conversely, the other one can kite away from the hotel and allow. I would say ideal situation for the survivors here is going to be see your first kite again. Just because it's Seer, and it's not Toy Merchant. Seer is a little bit vulnerable at the beginning of the match, but if they're able to rotate for long enough, and just kind of keep Seer out of the line of fire long enough to get the owl back, then it's fine. Toy Merchant, I would say Toy Merchant's definitely not going to be a bad first chase if she ends up catching it. The thing with Toy Merchant being first chase is that you kind of want her to have a little bit more time to set up her support. But it does look like we're going to be heading for Seer first. So that does mean that Toy Merchant can rotate back into the hotel, set up her support. But Seer is going to be taking this first chase. Sort of. Looks like we have actually been able to get quite a bit of distance here. Namako almost basically the entire length of the hotel away. So keeping up a really good distance here. We're going to head upstairs. Toy Merchant has placed her support here, and we are going to fully catch sight of the Seer. So trying to get a fall hit here. Unfortunately, it's not quite going to go through. Namako just keeping up this distance. Is just going to drop the pallet right away and not quite able to hit through. Nicely done. 13 seconds, 10 seconds to blink here. So that will be coming into play very shortly. The owl is also back. And that, yeah, this is a very strong loop here, for MY, and Eguite really needs to break it sooner than later. But, oh, nicely done with the owl, unfortunately. The owl would have been really, really good if that would have been a Terror Shock. Unfortunately, Eguite was just a little bit off with it, but I respect the caution, even if it didn't work out. It was an appropriate amount of caution to exercise, especially since Nightwatch's hitbox is kind of weird on that side. And it could definitely have turned into that. But, oh, using the blink for the fall hit, unfortunately not quite able to get that catapult off in time. And Namako is just going to get hit out of it. That catapult is inevitably going to be broken, but we're looking at 4 ciphers remaining here. Both of those other ciphers that were started at the beginning of the match are at around 80%. Still being worked on here, and it looks like Aeroplanist is coming in for the rescue. Aeroplanist does have Tide. Both Aeroplanist and Forward are carrying Tide and Borrowed Time, so very standard here. It does look like they're really, you know, compensating for the lack of a rescue by making sure that there's 2 survivors that can securely rescue with Tide Turner. So yeah, nicely done with that team comp. I do like it when teams are a little bit cautious like that with that Tide Turner, because Tide Turner can be so good. Nice with the pallet stun. A little bit, I would say, unnecessary, just because, you know, you do kind of want to reserve those pallets for endgame. So dropping that, you know, interesting decision, but also Eguite didn't break it, so I guess it's fine. But Lim H coming in for the rescue here as Forward. We've got our last 2 ciphers. Both of them are started and being worked on a little bit low, so Lim H definitely wanting to take some time on this rescue. Doesn't want to go in right away, but we are going to head in for the chair. Not quite able to use the ball just due to the stun and also due to the pullback, but it is what it is. Lim H taking a second hit here as well, and just looking to try and, oh yeah, not quite able to lock off, not quite able to lock off that area, and also just not quite able to get that stun going. So a little bit unfortunate for Forward here, but Namako has been able to get a lot of room, a lot of time to transition to a better area. Blink is still on cooldown for another 30 seconds. And it doesn't look like we have an owl yet, but yes, we're able to get the owl. Nicely done with that, shield. Cypher is at 94%, and with that missed wind, it's definitely going to be primed by the time Seer is... Oh, but Seer doesn't have borrowed time, so they are just going to go ahead and pop it. Nicely done with that flywheel. Unfortunately, it is going to be a Terror Shock. Yeah, they did kind of just have to pop that. We do have that exit gate being opened here by Shiro. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate there, but it is still going to be a 3-man unless Teleport is going to come in, and Eguite is inside the gate here. Reyniko was able to get, I actually don't even think Reyniko used the jetpack on that one. I think Reyniko just ran, and used the catapult. But Shiro in the middle here only has that one catapult at the exit gate to work with. So we're kind of just flying blind. But that gate is nearly open. Eguite playing a little bit around this pallet. Unfortunately, Shiro is not quite going to be able to get that pallet down in time. And this is going to be a draw. It looks like we are just going to settle for that draw. Yes, okay, yeah, that is going to be a draw here. But nicely played. That really did just save it at the end. The fact that the blink was still up, with that teleport, literally just hairline away, from being a 3-man escape. So nicely played, by Eguite. I do want to see, though, what the win conditions are here, because we're basically tied across the board. Yeah, so we've got 11-9 here. Okay, so it looks like if it's a 3 escape, we're going to be heading into round 4. 4 escape, STR wins. Any other result, MY will win. So MY needs a draw here, or MY Hunter needs a draw here, and STR needs a 3, well, ideally a 4-man escape, but hopefully a 3-man escape. If they don't ban Hermit here, which they probably will, so I will not be getting my hopes up. If they don't ban Hermit here, this would be a very good place to play Hermit. However, they are almost definitely going to ban Hermit because we do have two Hunter bans on the table. So yeah, we're probably not going to be able to play the Hermit here, but I can dream. We're going to ban Priestess as well as Antiquarian, which is obviously warranted here, especially with the Embalmer ban. Oh, we're not going to ban Hermit. We're going to ban Opera Singer and Geisha, so Hermit is still on the table. And I am sending psychic waves to the past, hoping for a Hermit. But yeah, I mean, the flip side is that you can absolutely counter comp a Hermit, and I would definitely expect to see either or Enchantress or a Barmaid, or both. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We're going to try and counter the Clown here, I would say. At least with the Entomologist pick. Entomologist is definitely very good against Hermit. Much stronger on Harassment than on Chase, though. Entomologist Harassment for a Hermit is very, very strong. However, I don't think, like, she doesn't have any particular kiting buffs. Okay, we're banning Aeroplanist here, so still not banning that Enchantress or that Barmaid. I definitely wouldn't be so. Okay, no, we're gonna lock in the Dancer. The more time that passes without any Hermit counter picks or bans, the more worried I get. Because either it means that this team is very confident going against a Hermit without a dedicated counter, or is just waiting until this last slot. Yeah, no, I feel like they're not anticipating Hermit. But I also feel like based on the bans, I don't think you. Oh, wait! Prospector ban might mean a Hermit, actually. Or possibly a Disciple. Oh, and we're gonna head with a Batter! We were actually, yeah, that's for JC here. With that Batter pick. I'm honestly entertained the fact that it comes in now, right, with, it would have been better than a forward, it would have been a Batter. Well, we've got our Batter now. But yeah, that's it's not a great comp to play Hermit against, but it's definitely a good comp. Like, it's not a game-ending comp. Batter and Entomologist will be annoying. Batter and Entomologist are going to be really, really annoying if you don't take care of them. So I think that's the biggest issue here for a Hermit. Because both Batter and Entomologist, Batter especially, but also Entomologist, can just knock Hermit out of the teleport, like out of the like local ball teleport. It's no problem to knock a Hermit out of that for a Batter or for an Entomologist. Okay, we're gonna go Night Watch, which is also going to struggle against the Batter and the Dancer. The reason why I personally would have gone Hermit here is because Hermit counters Mercenary. Hermit counters the tight kiting for the Dancer. It's not I don't feel great about Night Watch here. But you only need a draw, and I would say that Yuri might have been worried about, team communication for a Hermit resulting in a 4-man escape. But yeah, it's risky. It's very risky. Also, welcome back, Jupi. You were very quiet during the Charlie Annie ban and the Charlie Annie pick in subsequent matches. But yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. Did you fall asleep? It's okay. It's okay. Everyone is welcome to take naps during my streams. It's just unfortunate that I'm not allowed to take a nap during my own stream. So yeah. Yeah. But It's okay. Take it after the stream. Anyway, speaking of the stream and the stream ending, heading into round 3. Round 3, game 1 here. Once again, win conditions are for, or round game 2. What am I saying? We just, anyway. Continuing my train of thought. You know what it is? It's because I talked so much in the break, I don't think I actually fast forwarded too well to the next match. But yeah. Already we're going to get caught in this music box. So a lot of distance pulled here from Dancer, and we're already set up at the top here. At the top of the hotel. So this is the thing with Dancer, is that it's so easy for her to just pull like a stupid amount of distance with the boxes. And yeah, we're gonna see the second one here already. We're going to have to force Yuri to break the box as well. So it is, it is a sacrifice of resources. It really is. But it does look like we're actually going to switch targets over onto the entomologist. Yuri just saying, no, I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to chase a dancer in hotel, which, fair. I also don't want to chase a dancer in hotel. On the plus side here as well, we do have insolence. So there is just that little bit of insurance going on to make sure that we have presence. So that would also be why Yuri was less concerned with committing to a target. Because we're gonna get that presence anyway. Nicely done there, getting the hit in right at the end of insolence to immediately catapult us to max presence, or not to max presence, to half presence and then some. But heading over to the restaurant here, beautiful job on that blink. Nicely done there. Entomologist is going to go down. It is a 2-cipher kite pretty much. But since Yuri was able to pressure Entomologist off of that cipher, and Dancer wasn't really able to return to that cipher, that cipher is still sitting a little bit behind here. It's not bad cipher progress, especially since Dancer does still have a box, or has placed the fast box to assist with decoding. But Mercenary coming in for the rescue. We're just wasting time here, honestly. I feel like Yuri probably could have forced that a little bit sooner, but Batter coming in, unfortunately just not hitting that ball. Nice job on the flywheel, though, just to stay out of range. But yeah, that is just a little bit unfortunate. Getting that short stun in there as well with the Rage Ball. But I feel like it was early. I feel like it was very early to have a third person coming in during that rescue. I guess Batter maybe just wanted to get in the area to start harassing, but yeah, that was an interesting decision. I guess we'll just have to see how that pans out. But Batter's still in the area. No, actually leaving the area a little bit. We do have... No, that ball was not... that was not a stun. So that ball is still there. Batter can go and pick it up. Heading for second chair on the entomologist. We have 2 ciphers remaining at 60 and 36%. But the progress has stalled a little bit. Shu kind of hanging around here. But Dancer's the only one who can come in for this rescue. Once again, we're seeing that these teams just do not heal. And it kind of starts... Oh, Yuri missing that dash. But yeah, I don't think that would have changed the rescue at all. Batter once again coming in for the harassment, but we're still at 2 ciphers remaining, and you can do all of the harassment your heart desires, but it's not going to work in this situation because those ciphers... Okay, we have 1 cipher back on the go. Okay, both ciphers are back on the go now, but that's so much time and energy here that's been just, not really put to waste, but also, yes, it has. It's just it's a very risky decision, to spend that much time. But already we're seeing it pay off here because Yuri has taken so long to get this down. Okay, getting the down here. Oh, but those bees. It's going to be very close. Unfortunately, with no Batter around to harass, that could have been very, very risky here. It is still going to be a draw. I do think this is going to still be MY's win. it's not looking like a 3-man escape here for STR. Which is, I mean, I genuinely think I don't think batter was really necessary to be harassing, and I think that is the thing. That's the thing with batter, honestly, is that like a lot of batters just go kind of overboard with the harassment. But yeah, we are gonna have batter go down here. I don't think they can push. Well, if mercenary is insane, okay, no. I think yeah, batter is going to. Okay, no, batter is not going to basement, but this is far enough away, from both the dungeon or any of the open gates that unless they wait 50 seconds here, which I mean, okay, in STR's defense right now, they have very little choice. Because it's either they go to round 4 right now or they completely lose. If they're able to get a 3-man escape out of this somehow, that's round 4 and it keeps their chances alive. But if they wait out, I don't even know if they're going to be able to wait out detention, actually. We got 50. Oh, no, they will. They will. It's going to be close, but they will. If Mercenary is able to take 2 hits, Yuri just has to swing now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this was the way that it shouldn't have been done. If they were going to try and go for that. Because now batter is down again. Batter's dead on share. Yuri's just going to eliminate batter here. And STR has already lost. Yeah, okay. Well, that was a little bit underwhelming of an endgame. But yeah, very nicely played by both teams there. That was very close. The fact that this, well, okay, it was almost a double draw here. But that was nearly very, very close to 2 rounds that were tied, and then MY only winning by a 2-point margin. Obviously that did give them more points, but if the win condition, excuse me. See, clearly I need a nap. If the win condition was not to get like a 3 or a 4-man escape, then that would have been much cooler. But yeah, no, that is just, it's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, just very, streamers played much better than they have been. I think they did just kind of catch MY off guard, especially during that second match. So yeah, it's very exciting for me always to see how the non-pro teams kind of work, because it's a different way of playing. It really is, you know, comparing the way that the pro teams play with AXIZ Wave versus FAV Gaming, and then kind of the difference between that and how Miss You and streamers play. Like, it's completely different, and it's a completely different game. So yeah, anyway, I don't think I have anything else to say. I do think this is going to be my last stream for the weekend. I will try. I think Fridays are probably going to be pretty consistent, at least for the foreseeable future. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm good. I did a lot of talking already, so I ran out of things to talk about. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for coming. I always appreciate it. Viewer loyalty and whatnot. Yeah, next Friday at 3 EST. Should be, you know, solid. I'll see what happens. I'll try to do some more streams, you know, coming up. But we'll see. We'll see. I am very busy. I'm still in school. I'm also working. But yeah. I am also still keeping up with COA outside of these videos. So like, you should too. Watch it on your own, take notes, have fun. But yeah, I will be back next week ish, more or less, depending on what happens. I do want to do gameplay streams again. I just haven't had the time or like the commitment to playing like in one streak like that. I was recognized though. I was recognized. This is gonna be the last thing. I was recognized in game yesterday. Um, Princess, if you're out there, that scared the shit out of me. But thank you. I've never been. I was recognized as like Lesbo Knife, not as 206 Bones. So I don't know, like, but they knew me from streaming, so I don't really know what happened with that. If you're out there, please explain, because that was very confusing. But yeah, terrifying to be recognized, but I guess it's a good thing. Um, but yeah, that's it from me. Oh, thank you for following. Um, yeah, I think I actually got a few followers and I just didn't notice during the stream. So yeah, if you followed during the stream, thank you so much. I wish I had more rewards for following me other than being like getting notified when you watch my stuff, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, anyway, I will stop talking now. That's more than enough dragging this out. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for following, supporting, etc. I will upload this onto YouTube. You can find it same name channel, 206 Bones. I don't remember how many underscores that one is. I think it's 1 underscore, but it's not like reflected in the actual name of my channel. But yeah, should be linked on Twitch if I'm remembering correctly. If in any, you know, situation you wanted to rewatch this for some reason, of course Yuri is going to get the best deduction here. Or if you want to send it to your friends. Yeah, anyway, that's just for archival reasons mostly, but yeah, that's, again, more, I'm talking way too much right now, so I'm just gonna end the stream. Thank you all for coming, and goodbye.